I just found the most painfully relatable Reddit story of this year. Here's the ultimate vacation disaster story. Imagine you planned the perfect vacation, but everything falls apart at the last minute. That's what happened to this guy in Italy. Stay tuned for this story. All right, we have someone asking, am I the asshole for refusing to pay my girlfriend's plane ticket after she decided to stay longer on her trip without me? Not the asshole. All right, here's the deal. My 28-year-old girlfriend of 2 years and I, being 29 years old, planned a 2-week vacation to Italy. I paid for everything from flights to hotels because I make more money than she does and I wanted it to be stress-free. Everything was great until the last day. She told me she wanted to stay longer to find herself and think about our relationship without me. She never discussed this with me beforehand, completely blindsiding me. I was hurt and I told her that if she needed time alone, she should also handle the finances for the extension. I said I wouldn't pay for her new return ticket. Now she's upset, calling me unsupportive and selfish. Some friends say I'm an a-hole for leaving her stranded in a foreign country without financial help. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for her new plane ticket after she chose to extend her trip without consulting me? There's an update to this story. Thanks to everyone who responded, especially those who helped me feel less like the bad guy. I've realized how good my girlfriend was at making me feel like unreasonable things were normal. Here's the update. We're both back in the US now, and she's packing her stuff to stay with family until she finds a new place. I went to the airport alone because I always arrived early, and I didn't trust myself not to break down emotionally. As I waited, my girlfriend showed up, thinking I was bluffing. She had a rude awakening when the hotel staff kicked her out of the room since I'd only paid through the last day. She had not thought about where to stay. While at the airport, she admitted she met someone in Italy. She claimed it was just a physical attraction and nothing happened. However, she had her contact information and wanted to see where it could go. This hurt deeply. I stayed in one night because I wasn't feeling well, and she went out with him and met him. I told her we were done. Whether or not she was truthful about nothing happening, I no longer trust her and I don't want to be with someone who keeps her options open in a 2-year monogamous relationship. The flight home was awkward, and she tried to convince me to stay together during the drive from the airport. Reality seemed to hit her hard. Now, I'm jet-lagged and emotionally drained. I'm just numb. Now, let's see what Reddit has to say about this story. People overwhelmingly agreed that the poster was right. A commenter said, she can find herself on her dime. They feel like the poster should not have been expected to fund her independent decision. A lot of comments focused on the girlfriend's actions. One person pointed out she chose not to use the ticket that was already bought. She was fully responsible for the choice to stay behind, and she should figure things out on her own. Finally, some users were supportive of the decision to stand firm. You've already been generous, don't let her guilt trip you into thinking otherwise. And now let's reveal the final decision of the Reddit users. According to the comments, was the poster right or wrong? The comments were clear. 90% of people were on the poster side. They felt like the girlfriend made a selfish decision and should have been responsible for her own actions. Only 10% felt that the girlfriend should have been supported and helped with the return ticket. What do you think? And what would you have done in such a situation? Let us know in the comments. Today's story is about a couple with trust issues and a shocking twist with a fake therapist. Stay tuned. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my girlfriend after therapy backfired? I'm a 28-year-old man and my girlfriend Emma, 27 years old. We've been together for 6 years. Most of that time, we've been really happy. Over the past year, things have started to feel different. Small arguments, miscommunications, and a sense that we're just not as in sync as before. Emma seemed more concerned than I was, pointing out issues like me not listening enough or being emotionally unavailable. I've been busy with work, but I thought we were okay. Still, I didn't want to dismiss her feelings. 6 months ago, she suggested couples therapy. I was skeptical, but agreed since it couldn't hurt. Emma found a therapist, her name was Lily, through a friend, and we booked our first session. Initially, the therapy seemed fine. Lily asked good questions, gave tools to improve communication, but I noticed a pattern. Every issue seemed to circle back to how I was falling short. If I brought up the stress from work, the focus shifted to how I wasn't giving Emma enough attention. Emma began using phrases like Lily thinks you should or Lily says, and that made me feel quite analyzed. I started questioning myself. Was I the problem? Despite trying to push through, things worsened. A few weeks ago, during a session, Lily suggested we consider a break so that I could work on myself. I was stunned. I looked to Emma for support, but she just nodded along. When we got home, I blew up. I told Emma I did not trust Lily's judgments, and I felt like therapy was being used against me. Emma got defensive, insisting Lily was helping. After days of silence, I began doubting myself again. But then, something happened that changed everything. At a party last week, I overheard Emma and her friend Sarah giggling. Sarah said, "I can't believe you pulled it off for so long. Poor guy, he still thinks she's an actual therapist." Confronting them revealed the truth. Lily was not a licensed therapist. She was one of Emma's college friends, posing as a therapist to help fix me. Turns out Emma thought I wouldn't agree to real therapy. I was devastated for months. I had poured my heart out to someone unqualified, all while being manipulated. Emma admitted she never meant to hurt me. She only wanted to help us grow. But I felt betrayed. The majority of people sided with the poster. They said Emma's actions were a betrayal. One commenter summed it up perfectly. "That's a huge betrayal. I'd never trust her again." A smaller group understood Emma's intentions. One person said, "She probably thought she was helping, but this was just wrong." Some people were split on whether therapy could have worked if done properly, but almost everyone agreed deception in a relationship is just never the right way forward. Let's reveal the opinion of the internet. So what do the numbers say? 75% of the comments are in John's corner. They call Emma's actions manipulative and a clear betrayal. 25% thought Emma's intentions were good, but misguided. It's clear that the majority think trust was completely broken here, and that's not easy to fix. What do you think? Could you forgive someone who does something like this? Let us know in the comments. I think I just found the most heated vacation story of Reddit. Stay tuned for more. There were bikinis, and then there was her bikini. You wanna know how this story goes? Let's go. Someone on Reddit asks, "Am I the asshole for talking to a girl in a bikini on a beach?" My wife, who's 35 years old, is making me, I'm 37, write this post. She feels my behavior on our vacation was inappropriate, while I believe it was acceptable. She loves this subreddit and wants your opinion to settle our debates. We've been married for 7 years and we have a 3-year-old child. A few weeks ago, we went to Miami. On the second day, my wife was sunbathing while I played with our son. He wanted to build a sandcastle, so we went to the wet sand near the water. While he was playing, a woman around her mid-30s approached us. She complimented my son and made some small talk. We chatted briefly about where we were from and our time in Miami. After about 10 minutes, my son was ready to head back. So I said goodbye and I returned to my wife. My wife was upset. She noted how revealing the woman's bikini was, and she felt she was trying to flirt with me. I reassured her it was harmless conversation. Our son often attracts attention from moms, and my wife has seen it happen without any issues. But this time, she argued, it was different because of the woman's outfit. She said that, as a married man, I should avoid talking to women who are dressed like that. We saw the woman a few more times at the resort, and I kept any interactions brief. My wife insists that I should recognize the difference between casual settings on the one hand and talking to someone in a bikini on the beach. I feel like polite conversation is acceptable, regardless of the outfit. So Reddit, is my wife right to be upset, or is she being unfair? Here's an edit from the wife. He left out some key details. The woman was leaning too close and kept appearing at the resort, always trying to talk to him, but never once speaking to me, which felt disrespectful. I'm not saying my husband was flirting, but he could have picked up on her body language and cut it short. There were bikinis, and then there were her bikini something or whatever. Alright, let's take a look at what Reddit has to say. A lot of comments focused on trust and boundaries. Many said trust is key. A simple chat shouldn't hurt your marriage, and they felt it was not a big deal. Others said the setting was important. The beach is a relaxed place. One commenter said, stressing that it's natural to have a casual conversation without thinking anything of it. But there were also comments saying that communication is crucial. A few viewers said they need to talk about their feelings more clearly, pointing out that the wife probably felt disrespected, even if the husband didn't mean any harm. And now, let's reveal the opinion of Reddit. About 60% of people supported the husband. They said he acted reasonably and the conversation was innocent. About 30% of people sided with the wife. They felt like talking to the woman in that setting was inappropriate. Who do you side with, the husband or the wife? Let us know in the comments down below. This story is about a couple's dream vacation gone wrong when the boyfriend has a good prank at the security. You will not believe what happens next. Here's the story. Someone on Reddit asks, am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend at the airport after he pranked the TSA? Hi everyone, I'm a 20-year-old female and I could use some outside perspective on whether I was too harsh on my boyfriend, who's 29, because of a recent incident. My boyfriend loves practical jokes, and while some are genuinely funny, others can be a bit too much. For example, he once switched all of my skincare products with mayonnaise, and another time, he filled my car with balloons. It's usually all in good fun, but sometimes it goes a bit too far. We had planned an amazing vacation to the Caribbean, something I'd been looking forward to for months, and everything was going smoothly until we got to the airport. Right before going through security, my boyfriend thought it would be hilarious to pull another prank. This time, he pretended to have something unusual in his pants. As you can imagine, the security scanners picked up on something odd, and he was pulled aside for a pat-down. When the TSA agents asked if he was carrying anything that he shouldn't be, he made an inappropriate comment in what he thought was a funny tone. Everyone turned to look at us, and the situation became awkward. Then, he revealed the object and made another joke about it. The TSA did not find it funny. Both of us were taken to a back room and questioned for over an hour. The situation caused us to miss our flight, and the agents gave us a stern lecture on security and appropriateness. I was so upset and embarrassed by the whole ordeal, I decided I couldn't handle going on vacation anymore. Instead of waiting for the next available flights, I just went home. My boyfriend was annoyed and said I was overreacting. It was just a joke, and we could catch another flight. However, I felt the prank crossed the line, especially considering the setting and the stress that it caused. So Reddit, am I the asshole for deciding to go home and miss on our vacation because I couldn't deal with another potential joke or embarrassment? Let me know what you think. All right, let's see what Reddit has to say about this one. A lot of people think that the boyfriend's prank was way out of line. They say it's childish and completely inappropriate, especially in an airport where security is taken very seriously. One commenter said, your boyfriend sounds like a 16-year-old. Some commenters feel that this kind of behavior could cause serious problems later on. He could get arrested or even lose his job. He's unstable, he's insane, and that's not funny. You can see why they're worried this could have more severe consequences. The pranks themselves, well, people aren't too impressed, especially when it comes to messing with somebody's skincare products. A lot of people pointed out how disrespectful and potentially harmful that could be. They said things like, messing with things people put on their body is assaultive behavior. And now, on to the reveal. Was the boyfriend right or wrong? About 90% of people agree that the boyfriend went too far. Most people think this prank is childish and disrespectful. Only 10% of people feel like the girlfriend overreacted and should have let it go. The overwhelming majority are on her side, saying she had the right to leave. What do you think? Was the boyfriend right or wrong? Did he go too far? Let us know in the comments. I think I just found the most shocking couple story on Reddit. All right, here's a story about a husband who has a wife about to give birth to twins, but he also has a work presentation. Does he do the right thing? All right, here's a not too common situation. Someone asking, am I the asshole for leaving during my wife's labor? Let's find out. My wife went into labor around 6 p.m. on a Sunday. We were expecting twins. It quickly became a very painful process. She kept cutting off the blood flow to my hand when she squeezed and nearly sprayed my shirt with vomit. Around 3 a.m., my dad called. I work for his company, and we had a presentation for clients on Monday morning that I had to prepare for. My dad knew that my wife was in labor, but he said I needed to rest for the meeting. He told me there was nothing I could do to help her, and that delivering the baby was overrated and not what people expected. The labor was progressing slowly, and we all thought she would need forceps or other assistance to deliver. I realized I couldn't help her, and my dad needed me. So I told my wife, I have to leave. She screamed at me so loudly, a few nurses rushed over. I ended up doing the presentation and it went well. Afterward, I saw text saying my wife delivered an hour ago at 10:30 a.m. They had to use forceps. I would have missed the meeting had I stayed. My dad has done everything for me, so I didn't want to let him down. Now my wife is still yelling at me. Saying she was alone when they destroyed her body. She even said her family would disown her if she divorced me. but that she doesn't consider me her husband right now. It's not gonna be shocking, I guess, but let's see what Reddit commenters have to say. Emotional support and responsibility. People are furious about the lack of emotional support. You could have stayed and provided comfort even if you didn't physically help, one commenter said. It was clear that being there for your partner, especially during such a vulnerable time, was a huge part of what most people expected. The second biggest issue that people had was his clear choice to put work over family. Many people felt like he did this at the worst possible time. Work should never come before your wife and your children, others said. This move did not sit well with many people. A lot of commenters warned that this could ruin the relationship. One said, "If I were her, I'd be filing for divorce right then and there. It's hard for me to imagine how marriage can survive something like this without serious consequences." And now let's reveal the opinion of the internet. All right, here are the numbers. Based on the comments, about 80% of people think the husband was completely wrong. Many called him out for abandoning his wife, and only 15% of people felt like it was not such a big deal. Some even said he had to work. The majority of people think that family should come first, no matter the career demands. Did this story make you think twice about your priorities? Comment down below what you think. Behind this card is one of the most boundary testing stories on Reddit I found. Today we're exploring a story about boundaries and how to get people to respect them. Let's dive in. Am I the asshole for locking my girlfriend out of the basement so I could eat in peace? I'm a 39-year-old male and my girlfriend is 41 years old. We lived together for a bit over a year in my house, and during this time I've gotten used to her de-stressing by complaining. Much of this is about other people in her life, such as her mother, former coworkers, but it's mostly about me and how I'm not meeting her expectations. I'm fine listening to her. A few months ago, her complaints became a lot more frequent. I don't mind, but one time I don't want to listen is when I'm eating. Breakfast isn't an issue because she's still asleep, and lunch is fine since I work 6 days a week and eat out, but I enjoy a quiet dinner. It's especially irritating when she gets upset if I don't answer her quickly while I'm chewing. She'll say, "Hello, hello, are you even listening?" as I try to swallow my food quickly and answer. I brought this up a few months ago, explaining that I don't do well with talking during mealtime. If anything, it has the opposite effect. Now, it seems like she times her complaints to start right when I begin eating. While I'm making my dinner, she's quiet, but as soon as I sit down and take my first bite, she starts complaining. Last Saturday, I told her I could not deal with her complaining anymore, and that if it happened again, I would eat elsewhere. She responded, "Okay, fine." Then, as I took my first bite, she said, "Oh, by the way, today you kicked one of my shoes while you were putting yours on. It made me feel like you only care about your things and not mine." I stood up, went to the basement to eat, and locked the door behind me. I've done this every day since, and she'll sometimes bang on the door. Other times she demands I give her a key since I have the only one. Today she was crying and begging me to eat at the table, but I said no. Now she's threatening to take the door off its hinges while I'm at work, so that I'll have to lock it from the outside before going tomorrow. Am I in the wrong here? Let's see what Reddit commenters had to say. Abusive behavior. Many viewers are shocked by the girlfriend's actions. One comment reads, "A partner who constantly complains and creates tension is emotionally abusive. They're suggesting her behavior crosses a line." Advice to leave. The majority of comments recommend that the man should leave the relationship. One user says, "If your partner is threatening to take the door off, it's time to leave." Understanding his reaction, there's a few people that disagree. They say, he could have talked to her before locking the door, but I get why he snapped. And now, the opinion of the internet. Let's talk numbers. Based on the comments, about 85% of people agree that the girlfriend's behavior is way out of line. Most think the guy should leave her, and some even suggest he should take legal steps if things arise. On the other hand, 10 to 15% believe the man could have handled things better. Have you ever been in a situation like this? What would you have done? Let us know in the comments. Behind this card is one of the most awkward wedding stories on all of Reddit. Here's someone on Reddit asking, "Am I the asshole for telling my wife she shouldn't attend a family wedding if I'm not invited?" Here we go. Last weekend, my 34-year-old wife received an invitation to her eldest sister's wedding. The invitation states that she and our 3 children are invited, with no mention of me. 4 seats have been set aside for the wife and 3 children. I felt insulted and thought my wife would agree that it was rude. However, after she spoke to her mother to clarify, she decided to still attend. I told her it wouldn't be fair to go without me and that I didn't allow our children to go without their father. She argued I was being unreasonable since her nieces and nephews would be there, making it a meaningful family event. My point is that if it's so important for the whole family to attend, I should have been invited. If not, it can't be that important and she shouldn't go. Who's the asshole here? It's been edited later on to say, okay, I get it, I'm in the wrong. I let my kids go and everyone can stop harassing me about old mistakes I've already repented for. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Support for the husband's side. A lot of viewers felt like the invitation was disrespectful. One person said, if it's a family event, everyone in the family should be invited. The husband's feelings are valid. Others believed the wife was right to go since the wedding was a big family affair. One commenter wrote, it's not about excluding anyone, it's about keeping family connections strong. Except the husband, apparently. Some defended his feelings about being hurt, while others thought that he was making a bigger deal out of it than necessary. One comment read, if it was really that important, they would have invited him too. Alright, let's reveal what Reddit has to say. 70% of the comments are on the husband's side. They agree he should have been invited if the family is so important to the event. However, 30% believe the wife made the right call to attend, especially giving her family connections and reasoning. Now what's interesting is the mixed opinions. While most agree with the husband's point about fairness, a solid portion feels that there's more to the story. Maybe the wife was just trying to maintain peace in a tense family situation. This one's all about finding balance and understanding. It's a tricky situation, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more stories.